when you're in high school, you're kind of like in this bubble, and you don't really see the outside world. And when I came to college, I kind of got exposed to the outside world and what the real world is really like, and that definitely made the transition a lot easier whenever I was going to classes and meeting new people, talking with professors and learning new things at the college level. For me, personally, I knew what I wanted to do probably by the age of 14, so it was like freshman year of high school. I had figured out like, oh, I wanted to be a software engineer. So because of that, I was dead set on that career, and I wanted to get it done, which is why by my sophomore year, I had decided like, I'm just gonna go full dual enrollment, because I knew I wanted to get those classes out of the way. I wanted to learn the material that I was really passionate about and just do it immediately and just get started right away. If you're still uncertain, maybe it's best to not go all in, maybe just try it a little bit and kind of test the waters first. But when you're in high school, you're going through the regular coursework, right? And with AP classes, you can potentially earn credit that might go to some universities, but overall, the benefit of going to college early, and especially through the dual enrollment program, is that you take off a lot of time that you would originally spend taking those classes during your regular college experience while you're in high school. So I saved about 3 years of college by doing dual enrollment. So instead of going to college for 4 years like a traditional student, I was able to only go for just 1. So I'm finishing that up right now. And so I saved a lot of time for me to go do grad school and potentially do other things with my career and start my career early. So I thought that was a huge benefit in comparison to the high school experience. Another thing is that, again, it kind of exposes you to a sense of responsibility that you really don't get in high school. High school is great because you have a lot of extracurriculars, and that's where students start getting exposed to their responsibilities, like small responsibilities. But the really big thing about college is that aspect I mentioned about exposing you to the real world, and that you have to graduate and you're going to get a job soon, so you have to get your act together very, very quickly. And that kind of responsibility is really, really important for an individual to get, and that's why college is really important, regardless if you go the traditional or dual enrollment route. That responsibility that I gained, or that aspect of responsibility that I learned, was paramount to the way I viewed my career and the way I viewed how I'm going to go about setting the course for my career goals and my general life. So about 2015, 2016, the dual enrollment program was like set. So that's like right when I became a sophomore. So in my particular situation, I wasn't able to do it any earlier, but it's really up to the individual. If you feel that you're ready to go to college and that, again, you're personally prepared, then go for it. And if you are not sure, then maybe stay in high school. But it's really a matter of personal preference and where you see yourself and how you feel about college. But one thing I will say is, if you're skeptical, don't be afraid to take a leap, because you'll benefit either way. Because if you go to college and you figure out that you get there and you go through the experiences that you go through, it's still a learning experience, regardless if you don't go to high school and choose to go to college. You get a win-win situation either way, with the credits you earn and the experience that you gain from being exposed to a different bubble, per se. So instead of staying in that bubble in high school, you get into a new bubble and you get exposed to new things. So I'd say it's a positive experience, regardless if you choose to go early or later. It's funny because I've been told that I look a little bit older for my age, and people get shocked when I tell them that I'm 18. So when I was initially in the program, no one knew I was a dual enrollment student, because by the time you're probably a sophomore or junior in high school, depending on obviously your genetics, but in general, you look a bit older and you look about the same age as most other people, and the context of it's sort of like the context of assumption. So if you place a high schooler in a college classroom, everyone's going to assume that everyone in there is a college student. So it wasn't really hard for me to get along with my peers, because their natural assumption towards me was that I was a college student because I was in that classroom taking a college class, and I looked old enough to be believed as a college student. But as far as like the social aspect and getting to know people, no, it wasn't very difficult because of the context, because everyone assumed that everyone else was a college student. So it's really easy to just talk with other people, even regardless of the age difference. It was really easy. And yeah, it was not a problem at all, actually. So taking the leap of faith to go into the program is going to be it was a big challenge for me. But I don't regret making that decision in the long run. I had a lot of great people around me to help support me in that decision, and also inform that decision very well. Study hard. Always keep track of your deadlines, and always remember why you're doing it. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture, because you're in the program for a reason, you chose to do it for a reason, and always just keep that in mind moving forward through all the blood, sweat, and tears, or depending on what major you decide to choose. Always keep the bigger picture in mind, and always think 10 steps ahead, so that way you keep a good mental focus on what you're doing and why you're doing it.